Hey guys, so I have started working on my curriculum. I am assuming that many of you guys, like myself, are going off the assumption that at some point we will be e-learning this year. So personally, I'm trying to figure out everything so it can kind of move seamlessly from in class into online. For me and for us, it kind of means a flipped classroom model is what I'm planning. But I'm trying to do even I'm probably gonna have to pause this because my kids are crazy. But anyway, I'm trying to find ways that things that we would traditionally have given them hard copies of things in class for them to turn in and be a little easier online. This is something that some of you guys might already know how to do, but and I knew how to do this, but I hadn't done it. So now it's the process of converting some hard copy materials into online materials. So that way, if we aren't in person, we can just do it this way. And also, I don't really want to be sharing that many copies with all of them. Like, I don't really want to be handling all of their germy papers that they are then taking home and bringing back to me. So this kind of solves both of those things. So anyway, what you see here is I'm in Google Slides. So first of all, I've made an assignment. So I've made these two worksheets. We're doing like an introduction labs. This is sort of a scaffolded lab report that I created. Now, I could have done this I could have had a Word document, or not Word document, but a Google Doc. It doesn't matter where you made it. You can make it in Google Docs and then move it into slides, but you're going to want to have a slides for this. You're going to want to have a slides presentation. You've noticed here, you probably noticed here that my slide doesn't look like a normal slide. It looks like a regular piece of paper. If you're not sure how to do that, if you go to File and you go down to Page Setup, here you can see mine is set custom to 8.5 by 11. So if I did choose to print this off at some point in the future, it would print off just like a normal piece of paper. So as I'm starting to create this new material for this year, I'm using slides way more than I ever did before, just because I think it's a little easier for what I'm trying to do. So yeah, so I've made this. Now you can see here I've saved this as Scientific Method Part 2, and I've saved this as a template. For me, in my Google Drive, I'm organizing things that I'm working on as templates. So my teacher version is a template. So it's just typed in there. I had a text box. I can change things, alter things, go back to it, do whatever I need. I am going to make a copy of this, and I'm going to change the name to Scientific Method Part 2, and I'm going to call this assignment. Oops. That way I know that this is going to be the assignment that I share with my students. Okay. Now, once I make this, I'm actually going to delete this whole thing out of here. Now, you can obviously assign something to students that's a Google Doc. I could have given them, what just happened? Sorry. I don't know what I just clicked on. I could have given my students just that slides and like had them go in there. But we all know that if a student is given this and then they're going in there to type, I've made these lines, I start typing on them, everything gets jumbled, everything gets messed up. Maybe a student accidentally deletes a question, says, oh, that question wasn't on mine, because somehow they think theirs was different. When in reality, they actually edited things on there. So I want my students to be able to write on here, to type out their answers, but I don't want them to be able to edit any of my stuff. I want what I've given them to be what they get. So that's why, first of all, you need to make sure that you have full view of your, everything on the screen. I probably could have had full view a little bit bigger, but because my little pictures here, I can't. So you want to be able to see everything on there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a screenshot, use whatever, there's a million different ways you can do screenshots. Capture image. Okay, so now I have captured this image. It is literally an image of what I typed up. All right, and I'm going to save that image. I'm just going to save it. Downloads, save. Okay, so now I've saved an image of what I created. So I'm going to go to my other slide, which was my assignments. And in here, I'm going to go to tools, not tools. I'm going to go to slide and then go down to change background. When you go to change background, you can choose an image. And the image that I'm going to choose is that image that I just took. Done. So now my worksheet that I just created is now on this PowerPoint, but they can't alter it. I mean, if they went in and they changed the background of the slide, sure, they could alter it then, but that takes a lot of effort on their part. So nothing is going to change. Then what I do is I come up here and then I'm going to add text box. I'm going to add a text box for their name. I'm going to add text box for their hour. Literally for everything. I go in and I just add text boxes over all of these. So that way when they're coming in here, they can be like, Jessica Ward, third hour, whatever. And they'll be able to go through and literally answer every single question on top of my document that I made. I'll do that for both pages. And then the assignment is what I actually will post into Google Classroom. So when I post for my students to go on and complete this worksheet at home, they'll be able to type on it. They'll be able to write all their stuff right on top of what I did. And I won't have any issues when it comes to formatting. I won't have any issues when it comes to anything. And then next year, if I want to change this, I'll just go back to my template and I can alter anything I want in my template, take a new picture, and then just replace the image on the assignment. So it's a really easy way to take things that you already have and then just convert them to the digital world. So obviously, I mean, doing a worksheet maybe it's not the most engaging activity, but we all know that there are things that just can't replace that for, and maybe a Google form isn't really convenient. So for something like this, where I want them to see a lab report written out like this, having them be able to do this digitally is really helpful, and having it so they can't mess up my formatting is important to me. So just a quick little tutorial on how to take existing things you already have and then do this. And then really, just so you know, if you have you had older materials, maybe you have hard copies of stuff that you just make copies of every year, you don't actually have in Google Drive. If you scanned those in and have them as images, you could upload those as well onto a slide as the background. And if that image is the slide background, then again, add your text boxes, or even the kids can add text boxes. You don't have to add text boxes to everything. The students can do that. They know how to add a text box. And then they can still fill it out. So even if you don't have it digitally already, you can just scan them in and then put them as the background. So hope that helps you guys.